Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I am back to doing my Hymn Stories video series here on YouTube. This week we are doing a hymn called Christ the Sure and Steady Anchor. This was written by Matt Papa and Matt Boswell in 2015, and what I am doing today is creating this small little pocket card. This is going to slip into a pocket Bible that I've already made with a By the Well for God kit, and basically I keep all these cards together and I can look about the hymn stories and what verses correlate with that song. On the back side of that, I will kind of type up a little note on the back side and I just keep them together, and it's just a fun little video series for me. I really like knowing about the songs we sing in church, and so that is why I started this video series, and I hope you enjoy it too. So like I said, we are doing the song today, Christ the Sure and Steady Anchor, and I just wanted to read it to you. I wish I could, number one, you don't want me singing the song, but I wish I could show you the song on YouTube, but definitely go check it out. And I will kind of read you the verses that we have here. It says, Christ the sure and steady anchor in the fury of the storm, when the winds of doubt blow through me and my sails have all been torn, in the suffering and the sorrow, when my sinking hopes are few, I will hold fast to the anchor, it shall never be removed. Christ the sure and steady anchor while the tempest rages on, when temptation claims the battle and it seems the night has won. Deeper still then goes the anchor, though I justly stand accused. I will hold fast to the anchor, it shall never be removed. Christ the sure and steady anchor through the floods of unbelief, hopeless somehow, O my soul now, lift your eyes to Calvary. This my ballast of assurance, see his love forever proved. I will hold fast to the anchor, it shall never be removed. And then the last verse says, Christ the sure and steady anchor as we face the wave of death, when these trials give way to glory and we draw our final breath. We will cross that great horizon, clouds behind and life secure, and the calm will be the better for the storms that we endure. Christ is sure of our salvation, ever faithful, ever true. We will hold fast to the anchor, it shall never be removed. So obviously in this song, we're talking about Christ being our anchor, and we can also see that in Hebrews 6:16 through 20, which says, For people swear by something greater than themselves, and in all their disputes an oath is final for confirmation. So when God desired to show more convincingly to the heirs of the promise the unchangeable character of his purpose, he guaranteed it with an oath, so that by two unchangeable things in which it is impossible for God to lie, we who have fled for refuge might have strong encouragement to hold fast to the hope set before us. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that it enters into the inner place behind the curtain, where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf, having become a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. We also see a comparison as we look at Matthew 8:23 through 27, where Jesus calms a storm, so we can see that in these lyrics. And we also see it in Romans 8:33 through 34, which says, Who shall bring any charge against God's elect? It is God who justifies. Who is to condemn? Christ Jesus is the one who died. More than that, who was raised, who is at the right hand of God, who indeed is interceding for us. When I was looking up specifically why this hymn was written or the story behind it, I didn't necessarily find a story per se, but I did hear some reasoning from Matt Papa, who writes, Playing up the metaphor of the sea, storms, and the wind, the song is crafted around the idea of holding on to Christ, the anchor, when trials are high in our lives. The first verse opens with the singer sinking in the midst of their storm. The next few verses remind us that as the strength of the tempest grows, so does the ability of Christ as the anchor to root in deeper while we cling to him. Despite temptation, weakness, and unbelief, we are assured of Christ's steadfastness. And that goes completely along the same line of the Bible journaling page that I just created for By the Well for God's On the Brink devotional. In Hosea 2:19, it says, And I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in steadfast love and in mercy. So that's really all I have for the biblical side of this video, but I did want to do a quick talk about what I did on this card so far and then kind of walk you through the rest of this little pocket card. So what I did was I stamped this nautical map. This is an old stamp from By the Well for God. It's one of my favorites. And I actually recreated something that I did in the past. A number of Bibles ago, so a number of years ago, I made a tag with the same stamp and then stitched some of the lines. And so I hand stitched the lines yet again, and I love the look of it. I'm also putting a little bit of grit paste and embossing glaze on the top to just grunge up the edges here, and I'm just heat setting that so that that glaze gets really nice and glossy. It creates this wonderful finish. And then lastly, I've created this little cluster with some of the lyrics from the song. In verse 2, it's saying, "Deeper still, then goes the anchor." It's my favorite quote from the whole song. And so I decided to add that on a little piece of dyed ledger paper that I've had in my stash for forever. I did decide to cut off the little extra strings. A lot of times I would keep those on, but it just seemed a little bit too much with this small of a pocket card. And the rest of this cluster is basically just little Tim Holtz ephemera pieces, and I will actually end up putting the back side on. Now, I oftentimes use 2 cards for my pocket cards simply so that the back side doesn't get messed up while I am creating, and it just makes it a little bit more sturdy. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this hymn stories. I'll link everything I used down below in the description. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram as well at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.